You're watching Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV. I'm Frank Morano as we continue with our Mix It Up panel. On the right and on the left, we have Jeff and Bill here to break down all the latest political news that's happening around the world. Some breaking news first. We're just learning that John F. Kerry is endorsing Joe Biden for president. Not a tremendous surprise. Both guys served in the Obama administration and are sort of that same establishment wing of the Democratic Party. But I will remind the viewers that John F. Kerry is the only Democratic nominee for president since 1988 to actually lose the popular vote. So with supporters like those, Joe Biden is clearly heading in the right direction. Jeff, let me begin with you. Does this matter at all in terms of the Democratic primary contest?
No, it sure as heck doesn't. I mean, we have sleepy old white dude endorses other sleepy old white dude. That's really exciting. I'm sure it's going to make for a good fundraising email.
Will it?
Maybe. I don't know. It's not as if Biden was going to win Massachusetts in the first place. I don't think. If that was the case, then Liz Warren would have a lot more problems than we thought she did. So I think this just goes to solidify, like the old school Democratic base is sticking with Biden. But at the end of the day, I do think the party needs fresh faces and new ideas. And this is emblematic of the fact that Joe Biden might not be that guy.
Bill, what do you think? Does this matter at all?
I mean, it matters not in where we think it matters in terms of votes. It matters in terms of money, right? And that's the big thing right now is, Can Joe, when you look at the numbers, he's kind of in the middle there in Iowa, in the middle there in New Hampshire, but she plays very well down south with a lot of African-American voters, does very well in South Carolina. But you look at the numbers, he's hurting in terms of fundraising.
He's never been a good fundraiser.
Right. Mayor Pete's outraising him right now. And so this is something where I think some of those establishment people that maybe were taking a look at Pete could come back over to Biden where Kerry's kind of signaling. And I think it might be a strategic move to kind of box out, as we'll talk about briefly soon, box out Hillary.
All right, well, let's talk about Hillary Clinton. She was on the Howard Stern show yesterday for her first appearance on the Howard Stern show ever, even though Howard said that he was so supporting her in the 2016 campaign, begged her to come on, said that he thinks that she would have won the election had she just come on the show during the election. And she had quite a bit to say in between coughing fits and calling Bernie Sanders a tool of Russia. It's nice taking a break from calling Tulsi Gabbard a tool of Russia. She shared with her a private moment that George Bush shared with her at the inauguration of Donald Trump. Take a look at this.
Bill and I are sitting with George and Laura Bush. And then he started on that speech, which was so bizarre. And that's when I got really worried. You're supposed to say, okay, I'm going to be the president of everyone, those who supported me and those who didn't, because we're going to pull the country together. I'd hoped that I would hear a little of that. I didn't hear any of that. And then that carnage in the street and the dark dystopian vision. I was sitting there like just, wow, couldn't believe it. And George W. Bush says to me, well, that was some weird.
Wow.
Does that sound like a presidential candidate to you, Jeff? What do you think? She running?
No, I don't think she's running. I think the writing is on the wall with Democratic voters and Hillary Clinton. I think that a lot of that base has kind of bifurcated itself. Some of your hardcore Clinton people are with Joe Biden, the same kind of people who were excited by the John Kerry thing. And I think a lot of those voters, want to see a fresh face, want to see new ideas. And to your point about her winning if she had gone on Howard Stern.
That was Howard's point. That was his analysis. Right. I think she needed a little more than one radio appearance. As great as Howard Stern is.
I just don't think appearing on the Howard Stern show would be a way to get like those 700,000 suburban voters in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan to turn the corner on that. But at the end of the day, I don't think she's running. I think she has a place in the Democratic Party, but it's more as an elder role than being a candidate for office.
Bill, what do you think? Is she just selling a book here, kind of teasing the speculation about running?
I mean, just a quick note. There's local radio in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Ohio as well. That
Hillary Clinton's never heard of those things.
She didn't bother to step foot in during the fall. But
perhaps knocking doors also helps you win campaigns.
I read that on the internet somewhere. Asking for votes in the states you want to win helps. But listen, I actually watched some clips of it, and she seemed very relaxed. She actually did seem a little human.
Yeah, she actually did.
There was,
and that was her big problem. And she came across as so stiff and imperial. It was Hillary Clinton for President Incorporated. she might as well have just driven a tank into Iowa.
It was indicative, I think, of kind of the contrast between 16, right?
Yeah.
Was that, okay, now she's comfortable, now she can be human, but the truth was in 16, you had an opportunity to do it, not just on Howard Stern, but that's what you needed to do.
So is she
right?
running this time around, you think, or just selling the book?
I don't think she's running. I mean, I just
Well,
can't
let me
see it
ask you about a
happening.
guy who is running and putting his money where his mouth is. Last night he put his mouth behind where his money is. Mike Bloomberg gave a speech in New York City for the very first time as a presidential candidate yesterday. He actually came to my hometown of Staten Island. He spoke before the Iron Hills Civic Association and said if he's elected president, he's going to do for the whole country what he did for New York City. And all I'm thinking of, great, we could turn the whole country into a shopping mall that nobody can afford to live in. Bill, Mike Bloomberg just placed another ad buy. Where are we headed with this Bloomberg candidacy?
I think ad buyers are going to make a lot of money. I think political consultants are going to make a lot of money. Listen, I haven't seen him break double digits yet. And there's time left on the clock still. And a consistent, concerted effort to spend that type of money, it can move the needle. But what's funny is that on one hand, last week, Mike Bloomberg is essentially apologizing for all of the things he did that he touted as mayor. And now he wants to go into Staten Island and say, I did such a great job as mayor, but forget about the apologies for all the things that I did. I mean, he's kind of stepping on himself.
I'm still
here,
waiting for the
right?
apology on term limits and undoing the will of the voters.
Oh, I don't think that's coming anytime soon.
Well, I didn't think a stop and frisk apology was coming, but here it came.
The Democratic primary, you kind of have to.
Fair enough. Where do you think Bloomberg's candidacy is going, Jeff?
I think he's going to start to gain steam. I mean, he's already passed, the Andrew Yangs and Cory Bookers to move into that second tier of candidates. I think he's going to stay polling solidly in fifth place for the next few weeks and months. I think everyone in America has, by this point in time, seen a Bloomberg commercial. But I really wonder how the mountain states are going to react to the gun control position, how his past indiscretions on stop and frisk and criminal justice are going to resonate with the African American community. I don't know if he's yet created a lane. Also, I think that much like Bernie has kind of started to reinvent himself by wearing sweaters and hanging out with pop stars and stuff. I mean, we need to see Bloomberg outside of the traditional suit and khaki pants. I mean, get the guy some New Balance sneakers. Get the guy something. Make him human. To our point about Hillary, make him relatable.
Take a tie off.
Take the tie off. Yeah.
How about a town hall with Snoop Dogg while we're
Let's
at it?
do
Right?
it.
Can you see it? Mike Bloomberg and Snoop Dogg, or is it Snoop Lion or Snoop Doggy Lion, whatever he is.
I think that's a terrific idea.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. Very insightful as always. I hope you'll both come back soon.
Absolutely.
All right. When we return, we are going to talk with Annette Rayner, who was the CEO of InvestView, and she's stepping aside, which makes me very nervous because under her leadership, the stock of InvestView, which I'm a shareholder of, has skyrocketed. And I see a very responsible CEO stepping away, and I see John Tobacco in the position of Chief Digital Officer, and I am awfully nervous. Hopefully Annette Rayner can put my mind at ease next. You're watching Liquid Lunch. I'm Frank Morano. No flipping.